Good day, everyone. I will be presenting the School of Philosophy Behaviorism, its philosophy of education, and the key historical figure. Behaviorism was a movement in psychology and philosophy that emphasized the outward behavioral aspects of thoughts and dismissed the inward experiential, and sometimes the inner procedural aspects as well. It has sometimes been said that behave is what organisms do. Behaviorism is built on this assumption, and its goal is to promote the scientific behavior, and it consists of reflexes and behaviors learned through conditioning. Behaviorists believe human beings are shaped entirely by their external environment. If you alter a person's environment, you will alter his or her thoughts, feelings, and behavior. The system based on rewards and punishments. Behaviorists believe that if teachers provide positive reinforcements or rewards whenever students perform a desired behavior, they will learn to perform the behavior in their own. The same concept applies to punishments. Behaviorists think people act in response to internally or externally generated physical stimuli. They basically consider human nature to be the product of one's environment. An example of behaviorism is when teachers reward their class or certain students with a party or a special treat at the end of the week for good behavior throughout the week. The same concept is used with punishments. The teacher can take away certain privileges if students misbehave. These are the key historical figures. First one is Ivan Pavlov. Next is John Watson and B.F. Skinner. Early work in field of behavior was conducted by the Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov from 1849 to 1936. Pavlov did a famous experiment that demonstrates the theory of classical conditioning. He is known for using dogs for behavioral tests. He used a bell to teach the dogs to know that food was given, and it resulted in the dog salivating while waiting for the food. This became known as classical conditioning. So here is the figure of classical conditioning. Classical conditioning involves pairing a naturally occurring stimulus with a response. Then, a previous neutral stimulus is paired with a naturally occurring stimulus. The neutral stimulus begins to evoke the same response without natural occurring stimulus. Next one is John B. Watson. He was an influential American psychologist whose most famous work occurred during the early 20th century at Johns Hopkins University. Watson believed that human behavior resulted from specific stimuli that elicited certain responses. Watson's basic premise was that conclusions about human development should be based on observation of overt behavior rather than speculation about subconscious motives or latent cognitive processes. One experiment he did is the little Albert. He used classical conditioning in human. Next one is Boris Frederick Skinner from 1904 to 1990. Skinner believed that the best way to understand behavior is to look at the causes of action and its consequences. He called this approach operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is a method of learning that occurs through rewards and punishments for behavior. Here is a model of operant conditioning chamber. It is also known as Skinner box. A picture of operant conditioning chamber of Skinner box is device allowed experimenters to study conditioning principles and understand reward punishment mechanism in psychological research. Watson and Skinner believe that if they were given a group of infants, the way they were raised and the environment they put them would be the ultimate determining factor for how they acted, not their parents or their genetics. So here is my references on my report. I would like to end my topic with this Proverbs 22 verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Thank you very much and good evening.